We all love stories. Most people love to read them, but there are few who would prefer to listen. So, for those of you who prefer to listen, this is for you. Welcome to the Bible Stories. My name is Liz Kanye, and I'll be your host.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for coming again. I want to believe that you are enjoying yourselves. So today I want to continue with the story of Ruth and Naomi. You remember we spoke about Naomi going to Moab and coming back to Israel. So they arrived and the women were happy to see Naomi back. I guess those were her childhood friends. They were happy to see her back. But she told them not to call her Naomi, but to call her Mara. Now, we continue with the story. So they began living. They went back to the place that was theirs. Now, it's very interesting the way the Israelites, the way they lived their lives. When this land belongs to this tribe, it belonged to them for ages and ages. And usually, after every 50 years, if you had sold your piece of land, after 50 years, it comes back to you. So that is the law that God gave them, and they maintained it. So when Naomi came back from Moab, I don't know how many years she had been away, but when she came back, she went to her land, or rather her husband's land, where he had land. So I guess they already had houses, so they just continued to live there. But now, since they are back, there's no famine, but their land has not been tilled by anyone, so they don't have food. So I guess when people saw her, they gave them some food, nini, and so for a time they had food. So one day, Ruth woke up and she told her mother-in-law, I am going to glean in somebody's farm so that we get something to eat. Now, the Israelites had been told by God that they had to leave food for the poor. So when they were harvesting, they would leave bits and pieces here and there for the poor people to come and glean. By gleaning, I mean you come and collect that which was not picked by the harvesters. They're usually the little ones that fell off. Maybe someone was carrying and then one fell. So they're not supposed to go back for it. They're supposed to leave it and continue with the harvesting. So this was what Ruth was going to do. Now, God is in this story because God ordered her steps. So she went to the first farm. And in this farm, she found, it belonged to a guy. This guy was a very loaded guy. He had many farms. He had a farm in Jerusalem. So I didn't mention that this was the tribe of Ephraim. So where they lived was not Jerusalem. Anyway, this guy had a farm in Jerusalem. But he also had a farm here in Ephraim land. So when Ruth got into the farm, she started gleaning and she was by herself. Remember, she's a foreigner. So these people are looking at her with her kajicho. They're thinking, So she's gleaning by herself. Then the owner of the farm comes and he asks, who is that? And he's told, that is Naomi's daughter-in-law. She came back with Naomi from Moab. And he was so touched. So he had heard stories about Ruth, how Ruth left her people, how she decided to follow Naomi, and how she was taking care of Naomi. So he had heard good stories about her. So what does he do? He tells the farmhand, make sure you leave enough food for this girl to collect. Now foreigners are treated funnily, and Ruth knew that. So eventually when this guy, the owner of this farm, is called Boaz. When Boaz goes to talk to her, he goes to say hi and to tell her, don't collect in any other farm. You keep collecting. Follow my workers. Wherever they go, you go. When he went to tell her that, she was in shock. She was thinking, Allah, why are you treating me so nicely like this? And the guy said, it is because I have heard what you have done for my relative, Naomi. And the guy says, you can even join us for lunch, when it was time to eat. Oh, well, he had been told that since morning she had not taken a break. She had been working the whole day. So he told her, you can join us. When people have broken for lunch, you can join us. So he gave her food. When it was lunchtime, she ate to her fill, and then she saved some for her mother-in-law. Remember, they didn't have food. So she ate to her fill, and then she saved some to take to her mother-in-law. So in the evening, she goes home. She carries what she had gleaned the whole day. When she gets to Naomi, Naomi is looking at her bundle and she's thinking, were you gleaning? And she's like, yeah. Where did you go? And she says, I went to Boaz's farm. And Naomi has a smile on her face and she's thinking, Boaz is such a nice man. He's a relative of my husband and he's a good man. And Yahweh, I'm sure in her head she was thinking, thank you, Lord. Thank you for ordering our steps. And she was beginning to see there is light at the end of the tunnel. In as much as things had gone haywire for her, at least there was something good. So she told Ruth that that guy was a relative of her husband's, and she knew that if she continued to work in his farm, she would be fine. And so that is what happened. Ruth continued to work in his farm, and she continued to be treated well. She was not harassed. I'm imagining, as a foreigner, you must have experienced some harassment, on the streets, when gleaning in other farms. I don't know, maybe she had gone to other farms and then she had been kicked away, but in Boaz's she was allowed. I don't know, maybe that is what happened. But yeah, that happened to her. And so life was beginning to look up for Naomi and her daughter-in-law. So I'm going to stop there today. Next time, I'm going to continue with the rest of this story. I hope that you are enjoying. And if you are, please don't keep this to yourself. Share with your friends. Share, 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 until everyone hears this story. And also, comment. Tell me, what stories do you want to hear? Thank you, and have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful time.